Local 4 News begins right now with a breaking news alert.
Officers down. 2 Detroit police officers injured in the shooting overnight, and this morning, one of those officers is fighting for his life. Thank you so much for joining us, and we do begin with this breaking news we've been following all night long.
And right now, it appears that the suspected gunman believed that he was protecting his family. Let's get out to our Nick Monacelli. He's joining us live now from Sinai-Grace Hospital, where those officers are being treated. Nick, I know that we have a lot of questions, but first, give us the update on the officers' condition. How are they doing this morning?
So we've got 2 officers. One of them, if not out of the hospital already, will be very soon. He was hit with shrapnel in his left arm. The other one is in critical condition after being shot in the face by a shotgun, and he is heavily sedated. I want to go back and bring it back to the scene and take a look at this. If you see this carefully, look carefully, you can see evidence technicians working on this specific window. That's where the shotgun blast came from. All this happening at about 11:45 last night in the 20,000 block of Leisure. That's pretty close to 8 Mile Road and Schaefer. The police officers were there for burglary calls. That is when they were shot. Again, one shot in the face, one shrapnel hitting his left arm. The one who was shot in the face has spent 2 years with the Detroit Police Department. The other one, 18 months with DPD. So what exactly happened here? Well, yesterday on Easter Sunday, there were 3 different burglary calls at this home. 3 different times those inside called 911 saying someone was trying to break into their home. Inside was a mom, her 19-year-old son, and a 14-year-old. So when DPD officers got there at 11:45 last night, for whatever reason, the 19-year-old didn't realize, or were hoping he didn't realize, that those were officers, those were cops, and not burglars approaching their home. He got a shotgun and shot them through the window.
Several calls of a burglary were made to the police department on this date. In fact, 3 calls were made. One of the individuals in the house we believe to be the 19-year-old male, fearing for the safety of his family, fired from inside of the house with a shotgun, armed with a shotgun, striking both officers.
It's kind of hard to believe that you would not know that those were police officers, especially when 911 was called and you asked those officers to come. But there are so many explanations and so many plausible reasons. We also want to know, what were the officers wearing? Were they in a marked unit? Did they announce themselves? Should they have announced themselves? Maybe they didn't because they wanted to catch a burglar. All of these things we'd like to know. We should have some of those answers from DPD a little bit later today, but most importantly, 2 officers were injured in the line of duty. One will be okay after shrapnel hitting his left arm. The other one, as you mentioned, fighting for his life, shot in the face and now under heavy sedation and in critical condition. We are live here at Sinai-Grace. Nick Monacelli, Local 4 News today.
So, Nick, in terms of what unfolded there, was it the residents that called 911 at that point? Did they surrender when more enforcement came? What happened after that shooting?
So we think it was the residents who called 911, and right after those officers were shot, the SRT team, which is the SWAT team, was called and brought in. I'm not sure if they actually had to do anything, if they had a barricaded situation or not, but the 3 people inside of the home are now in custody. And in custody is kind of a broad term. It doesn't mean they were arrested. They're just in the custody of police right now. They're being questioned. They're talking to detectives. Now, there might be an arrest later today. That 19-year-old could get into some trouble. We're going to have to wait and again talk to DPD and see what the county prosecutor wants to do with this case. There could be a self-defense claim. There could be discharge of a firearm. A lot of things that we just don't have answers to just yet.
Meanwhile, an officer is fighting for his life, so our thoughts are certainly with him.
Alrighty, Nick Monacelli reporting live for us this morning. We'll be checking back in with him for another update coming up in about a half an hour.